Running commentary. We are exploring listening to albums. It is a lost art form. We took an hour out of our day. We switched off the phones. We switched off the computers. We did not answer the door. We sat down and we listened to the artist's vision and concept. A request from one of our YouTube subscribers. 5-star Silk and Steel. The tracks on the album are as follows. We have Can't Wait Another Minute, Find the Time, Rain or Shine, If I Say Yes, Please Don't Say Goodnight, which Delroy sang solo, Stay Out of My Life, which was written by Deniece, Show Me What You've Got For Me, Are You Man Enough, The Slightest Touch, and Don't You Know I Love It, which was written by Doris. So originally from Romford on the outskirts of London, the Pearson family, Deniece, Doris, Lorraine, Delroy, and Stedman, became well known in 1985 with their Furry Dice brand of pop soul. But in 1986 flipped the script and became an all-out pop sensation. This second album was their most successful, spawning 5 top 10 singles. The album made #1 in the UK album charts. 4 songs were recorded in Los Angeles with British producer Richard James Burgess. Buster Pearson was the band's father and manager, and he co-produced a couple of the tracks here. The remainder of the album was recorded in the UK. 5-star were on the RCA label through the Tent imprint. I think it's fair to say that the band were colourful, choreographed, non-threatening pop music. 5-star were the first black band to win the Smash Hits Readers Poll's Best Band category. They were so squeaky clean with their crunchy commercials and sugary pop fare that I remember the Saturday morning phone-in on Going Live where a young man called in and managed to get through security and asked the band, "Why are you so fucking crap?" So that went through as like one of the most embarrassing things ever. I mean, 5-star were kind of on a slide by the point that phone call happened, but I remember feeling pretty sorry for them. You know, they all kind of laughed awkwardly. You know, I was kind of incensed at the time. I was a really big 5-star fan. As a 14-year-old, I bought a few copies of the Stay Out of My Life single so that I could get all the buttons that came with it. I really liked this band. I loved them. I had a later connection with the band in as much as the man who signed my publishing to Peer Music had A&R'd 5-star for RCA. So I took this to heart. I loved that the same guy that signed 5-star to RCA had signed my publishing to Peer Music. It felt really great. His name was John Lloyd, by the way. He'd also signed M People and Black Box and all kinds of other stuff to RCA. And if you're out there, John, thank you so much. He told me mid-90s that the intention was 5-star was to have a British-style Jackson 5. So all of this for me is fine and dandy. Let's review the album. This is another one of those albums where my teenage self wants to defend the band from my witheringly cynical adult self. Sadly, with an audience baying for blood on past critical reviews, I'm not going to be able to be too kind here. Like I said, this album was requested by one of our YouTube viewers. So Can't Wait Another Minute reached #7 in the UK pop charts and #7 on the US Hot R&B charts. I always remember it as the follow-up to Systematic, which I loved. I thought this song was well produced, but a little lacking in character compared to Systematic. The sleeve of the record really tied into the fancy fabrics the band would wear. They were really very visual. The girls had on tons of makeup. I don't ever remember black girls wearing so much makeup. I mean, it was caked on, and the mascara and the lipstick and foundation and the product. I mean, these were really beaten for the gods, you know, very open casket with the makeup. Find the Time was also a #7 here. This was my jam. It was slick and polished, well choreographed, and the single is one of my favorites by the band. Whilst doing my dishes, I was having a good old sing-along to this. Oh, I can hear them laugh behind my back. Great single. Find the Time. Excellent. Probably one of their sort of forgotten songs, but I love this from the summer of '86. Rain or Shine was the follow-up to Find the Time. It was a number 2 smash in 1986, and it was held off of the number 1 position by the Communards cover of Thelma Houston's Don't Leave Me This Way. As a teenager, it was a guilty pleasure. I loved it, and I really wanted it to go to number 1 for the band. I mean, when you were a fan of these guys, I mean, they really just worked so hard at being entertaining. I remember they had these like blue sequin suits, and they're like dancing by Tower Bridge, and they're all like very choreographed and almost like robotic movement. I felt for them. I really loved them. I bought everything they did. I followed them avidly. One of my favorite bands. It's funny. Let's stop for a second and talk about why the Jacksons succeeded in a way that Five Star didn't. The answer is simple. It's the songs. Think of Michael Jackson at a tender age singing, "I'll Be There to Protect You." Think of "I Want You Back" and "Looking Through the Windows." Soaring masterpieces that really got you right here. Five Star had the polish, they had the panache, but the punch from the songs was not there. It wasn't as affecting. If you think of another British black band who scored big, Imagination, and think of their number 2 hit, Just an Illusion, that song did things to you viscerally. You moved. Five Star were not capable of getting you into that pocket emotionally or rhythmically, because they were adhering so resolutely to a safe formula when they went pop. Let's go back to the album, If I Say Yes, which is the beautiful sleeve. They're in this mansion with the chandeliers and the wood, and it's a country mansion, and again, all this fabric and makeup. I mean, these guys, in terms of visuals, really, I don't think can be questioned. It was a number 15 hit, though, in the UK. Number 13 US R&B. This was where Five Star dropped the ball with this song, right here. Listen to this. Systematic, number 3. Can't Wait Another Minute, number 7. Find the Time, number 7. Rain or Shine, number 2. So you follow up 4 top 10 hits with If I Say Yes. I'm telling you, the remix of Slightest Touch should have been Five Star's 5th top 10 hit of 1986. So this song for Five Star fans was a huge disappointment in that it stopped the very pleasing run of top 10 singles. It was like following a football team. Like when you were behind a band as a teenager, you wanted everything they do to succeed. So If I Say Yes, to this day, and I'll never forget a boy at boarding school, 6 foot, real big guy, and he used to take the piss out of this song, like, yes, 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 like it was an insult. I remember being on a bus and proudly wearing my Five Star badges and thinking that I was so, alternative and following a black band, and this girl just looked at me and she goes, "That's not black music. That's got nothing to do with soul. It's got nothing to do with R&B. It's got nothing to do with reggae." And she said, "It's pop." So it was funny how, they really crossed a boundary. They were kind of groundbreaking in a way, but in another way, not really so much, especially when you listen back. Yes, the album sold 1 million. I don't care. As a Five Star fan, which I think I truly was, If I Say Yes is the song that missed an open goal. RCA could easily have pulled someone in here and written something big for the band, but no. Stay Out of My Life reached number 9 in the UK. It was the B-side of the song How Dare You, was used as a TV theme for the Tyne Tees production How Dare You. I like this song a lot, mainly because Deniece gives her convincing all to the vocals. Bear in mind, this is the 4th top 10 hit on this album. Deniece wrote this one, by the way. Please Don't Say Goodnight is Delroy's solo effort. I don't like where the track is placed on the album. Delroy looked like people I went to school with, so I'm not going to hate on this track. He seemed shy singing it. I'm willing to bet there were a ton of girls who liked it, and a ton of pubescent teenage boys that empathized with its schmaltzy sensibility. But it really sounds like a bad Asian karaoke song. From like listening to it now, it's like, oh my god, this is so cheesy, it's terrible. The Slightest Touch is the 5th top 10 single. It was a number 4. The single version was remixed by Shep Pettibone, who went on to work wonders with Madonna and Kathy Denice's material. It's in keeping with the band's slick and choreographed persona. The remix has energy, but this song lacks the approachability of the other singles. It has, perhaps, a touch too much of leaning towards assumed sophistication, which, while we're on the subject, another aspect of Five Star that went alright was this uber-glamorous lifestyle that saw them buying Stone Court, a large security-gated mansion in Berkshire. In the driveway of that mansion, you would find Ferraris and Lambos. The gestures of this extravagance would have fared better, but someone in the Five Star organization had not done their sums correctly. And the next thing you know, the band are relocating to Hatfield under the pall of bankruptcy. Buster Pearson, the father and mastermind of the band, passed in 2012. I am grateful to him for sharing his talented family with us. A sincere and respectful rest in peace to Buster. Silk and Steel is a mini greatest hits album. The other tracks on the album, Are You Man Enough, is a timely produced US only release. Show Me What You've Got For Me, and the Doris written Don't You Know I Love It, which I think is a great album finale. If I were marking this album on the whole kit and caboodle of what Five Star were, I'd give this album 80%, no question. Listening to it now just as a musical piece, 50%. So I'm going to put those numbers together, divide them by 2, and give Silk and Steel 5 Star Running Commentary Album Reviews a final mark of 65%.